What's good, guys? Welcome back into Vaspods. We are here. We got a very special episode. We got episode 30, so we had to get a very special guest. We have Vernon Adams, currently Calgary
hmm
Calgary Stampede quarterback for
Stampeders. Yep.
Stampeders. Yes,
Yep.
okay. I'm sorry about that.
You're
And
good.
formerly BC Lions. Yeah, he got it. He's repping it. BC current or former BC Lions. Also before that, Eastern Washington and Oregon legend. We got Vernon Adams here. Vernon, how you doing today, my guy?
I appreciate the intro. I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yes, sir.
We'll just get right into it, my guy. Kind of give us a brief overview. Well, it doesn't have to be brief. It can be as long as you want. Trying to just give us an overview of who Vernon is.
Yeah. Vernon Adams Jr., born January 3rd, 1993, from Pasadena, California. Uh, been playing football since I was about 2 years old. Tackle football when I was six or seven, I think. Grew up in Pasadena. Um, Moved out to the San Fernando Valley for high school, just a private school, just better opportunity for myself. And yeah, from there, you guys know the story. You know, I went to Eastern Oregon, been in the CFL going on year 10. Family man, father of four. You know what I'm saying? Four boys. So yeah, that's pretty much it right there.
Okay, sweet. Okay. Tell us about your time in Pasadena when you were growing up. What was football like in California?
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows, the best football athletes come from Texas, Florida, and Cali. So, that might
Okay.
be controversial, whatever, but that's what I'm throwing out there. Washington, you guys got the hoopers out here and stuff, few ballers, but there's more hoopers in Washington. But yeah, it was good, man. It was competitive, very competitive. I played at this park called Jackie Robinson Park for the Pasadena Ponies, and a lot of my boys, we all grew up together. It's right there in the middle of the hood, across the street from the project. So, it was some tough decisions some athletes had to make after practice if they were going to go home or if they were going to go to the projects or whatever it was. I was so thankful and blessed to have both my parents in my life growing up, and they always made sure I went home and didn't follow my friends. Um, to the projects or whatever it was, so it's definitely um, things you have to make as a child, a grown-up decision like, okay, I need to be right, I need to go right, I can't just follow my, if you want to get to where you want to get to. So very competitive football. I even to this day, I had so many friends who were way better than me growing up, and they just chose going to the projects or going out in the streets or whatever, and never had the opportunity to do the private school thing and get to college and things like that. And it sucks to see, but very competitive, and yeah, I loved it.
Most definitely. Okay. Tell us about, okay, when you are in high school, did you get any looks? When did you start getting looks? Kind of how did that process go?
Yeah, I didn't start getting looks until the summer going into my senior year. So I'm a 5'10", 5'11", 170-pound quarterback at the time throughout high school. Undersized. Russell Wilson had just came. He had just got to college, so the short quarterback wasn't a thing yet. Obviously Doug Flutie was like the first one of our short guys, um, but then a long break of no short guys, just the typical 6'3", 6'4" quarterbacks.
Hmm.
So yeah, I didn't really get any exposure or anything, but going into my senior year, started getting a few more teams coming out to check me out to see how good I was or how good the team was, and didn't get any offers until November of 2010. So the end of my senior
Really?
year. Um, yeah, Eastern Washington's quarterback coach at the time, Zach Hill, he works with Seahawks now. He
Yeah.
came and seen me play in LA. And then that night, Coach Baldwin called me, which was the head coach and is now my quarterback coach in Calgary. He called me and he gave me a scholarship. So November was my first scholarship from Eastern Washington.
Was that your only scholarship?
I had two. Portland State was my other one. They came later on um, in the process around like end of January, so closer to signing day, which it used to
Okay.
only be one signing day in February, so it was closer then. and I actually committed to Portland State on my visit. Like I committed to Portland
Really?
State on my visit just because it was so much fun. Like I'm from LA area and Portland State is a city. So when I went on my visit there, we really connected, had a good time with it was more of the partying scene and stuff like that. Because then when I went to Cheney, it's like cows and horses and country stuff I've never seen before. So when I went
Most
out there, it
definitely.
was just like I knew they had a really good team. I just was not feeling the vibe, you know. But ultimately, I ended up going to Eastern. I flipped on signing day and went to Eastern.
That you made a good decision. Okay, so I used to live in
Yes, I did.
Portland. I used to live pretty close to Portland State, but
Oh yeah,
you made a good decision. I agree with you. Portland is very fun.
yeah.
It's before I always say this pre-COVID Portland. I probably would have never moved from Portland pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll kind of move past that a little bit. The Eastern. Okay, so you get to Eastern. Did you know that you were going to redshirt? Like, was that just something that Coach Baldwin told you? Like, was that just known? Like, or did you come in and did you just see like, oh, I need to redshirt? Like, how did that go down?
Yeah, I think in my mind the whole time I was expecting to redshirt just because we had Bo Levi Mitchell, who had
Oh
just won the
yeah,
national title. He won the national title the year before. So either way, my mindset was I'm coming in to learn from him, whether I was the second or third string, whatever. But at that time, like I wasn't interested in being a backup and wasting one of my years. So I was like, I will redshirt and just learn from Bo since he's a senior. And after he leaves, I'll take over. And that's pretty much how it went.
okay, so you and Kyle, is it Padrone?
Yeah.
Kyle Padrone. Okay, you guys are battling through the summertime. You guys are going through spring practices and everything. Do you feel like you are like the number, do you feel like you're the number one? Do you feel like when you guys sit down at the end of the spring practices and everything and they tell you guys are splitting, how does all of that go down?
Yeah. Well, first off, Kyle Padrone is one of my favorite human beings. Just a really good dude. Reintroduced me to God and helped me get back on track and in my prayer and things like that. So really love Kyle, man. Great dude. He actually didn't get to Eastern Washington until the summertime. So we went through spring practice with only two quarterbacks. It was myself and
Really?
Anthony Vito. Yep. And
Uh,
Anthony Vito was an upperclassman. I was an underclassman, and I had beat him out in the spring. He's a great dude too. I love my boy Vito. Um, I had beat him out in the spring and very close competition. So I was going in as number one into the summertime. But then they brought in Kyle in the summer, and I think they didn't think I was ready yet. So they brought in an older quarterback to come in and try to start it off. And so that's what he did. Really, he started the first two games, um, and then after that. I started that third game and kind of didn't look back from there.
no, most definitely. Okay, so you guys, okay, so before we get too far, I, I know everybody remembers this. We kind of talked about this before. Sam Houston State, kind of explain that week leading up to Sam Houston State. And did you know that maybe you could get an opportunity to get in, or was that just a surprise? Kind of explain that week.
Yeah. So we're talking Sam Houston State. We're talking 2012. So this is my redshirt freshman year. Like I said, Kyle came in. He came in. We battled for the starting spot. I honestly thought I won because our passing stats were very similar. They were very similar. It's not like he was beating me or I was. I don't know how it was, but it was very similar in our completion percentages and touchdowns and stuff like that. But then also I ran more too. So I got first downs with my legs and did things like that. So that's why I felt I actually won the competition, but they went with the veteran who had playing experience at SMU for 2 years and was
Hmm.
just, was the guy. So it went with him for the first two games. After that, I, I was a young buck. I was 18, 19 years old. I threatened to transfer on Twitter. So like I was like, where should I transfer to on Twitter? But this is 2012. I'm not thinking Twitter is like everybody's watching me like, oh shoot, look what Vernon. I didn't know the AD and everybody was on Twitter. So anyways, that third week they said, listen, you're going to start this week. Don't transfer. Blah 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 blah. So I started. like I said, didn't look back. But we got to the middle of the season. I was kind of struggling as a young freshman. So Bo Baldwin decided to start rotating us. Like, let me go for a few shit, him. And it actually worked out. You know what I'm saying? Only one game it didn't work out where I felt Coach Baldwin totally did it wrong. I was cold. Kyle was hot. Then he took Kyle out, put me back in, and I was hot. Then he took me out and put Kyle in, and he was cold. And I was just like, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So then after that, he kind of just went with one. Going into the playoffs, our last game against Portland State, we're playing in the rain, and I never played in the rain like this before. It rained the whole game, and I was struggling. Kyle went in, threw for like 300, went crazy. So they made him the starter going into the playoffs. So the second game, he does his thing. He wins. I don't even get in. So he wins the first two games. Boom, we're good. The third game is a semifinal game, and I'm like, okay, cool. After this, we playing North Dakota State in the championship. Like, I don't need to get in. I don't need to do nothing. I'm sitting on the sideline chilling. So I'm chilling. They go. They score 7-0. Okay, boom, we get it. We throw a pick six, 14-0. I said, oh, shit. They keep going. Boom, go. Next thing you know, it's 35-0 in the second quarter. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. Bo Baldwin about to come up to me. I'm freezing. I'm on the sideline cold. I'm not ready to go in at all. Like, my mindset is on the national championship. Like, Kyle got us here. We going. Come up to me. Hey, it's time. Right at the end of the second quarter, boom. I go in halftime, like I said, and then, we end up losing 45-42. So, yeah, it was crazy. We had one missed field goal too. I'll never forget that. We had one missed field goal, so it could have been 45-45 overtime. You never know. But yeah, that's how it went.
What were the vibes at halftime? Like, what do coaches say when you are down like that? What do they say anything? Do you even yell? Because I mean, I feel like everybody thinks like when you're down, like they're just yelling and screaming and
Hmm.
everything. Like, is that what coaches are doing?
No,
How does that go?
not really. I think more old school coaches did that, but these days people know it's like there's nothing we can do but shut up and go to work. Put the hard hat on and go to work. Like we're down 35 or 42-0 right now. It's halftime. We're at home. There's nothing we can do but go to work. And they announce, okay, hey, we're making a quarterback switch here. Boom, defense get a stop. Boom, boom. And then, like you said, second half we just came out. We scored on almost every single drive, and they didn't score in the second half at all. They just kicked the field goal, I believe. They might have scored once, but I think they just kicked the field goal. So our defense did their thing, and yeah.
The Sam Houston State. It was. I was telling you before this. That was the first ever college football game that first ever football like professional college like game that I've ever
Yeah,
been to. So it was a great game. But
that's a good
all
one. Yeah.
right. So let's transition in. You are definitely the starter after that. Going in there, you're the man. You guys go beat Oregon State. What is the feeling like? Oregon State's 25th at the time. I know you guys believe, but it's like that 16 versus 1 in the NCAA tournament. Like, I know you guys believe, but like,
Yeah.
what is it like though? What
All
was
right.
that week like, or what was it
Now
just?
you said it exactly. It's like your team is gonna believe, but everyone knows it's like 16 versus one. Like they're supposed to win. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to win, and that's just how it is. Um, it was dope, man. It was so good because playing those big schools, first game of the season each year, or whatever, second game, whatever it was, we always knew the big schools were going to play basic defense. Like they never played anything crazy because they didn't want to show what they were going to do against the big schools they play against. You know what I'm saying? So they come out and just play regular cover four or cover two or regular cover three. So it was so easy for me to just dissect and just read. And Cooper Cup, that was his first game as a freshman, and he went off. I think he went with like two or three touchdowns for like 186 or something like that. And that's when we knew he was special. But like it was a game. We're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and second to last drive, we're down. And I'm like, we going down to go win. So we get all the way down there to like a 5 yard line. I do a rollout to throw, but I said if I'm gonna put it on anybody, I put it on myself. Ran in, score, boom. We missed the field goal. Would have put us up four because I had broke my finger and I was the
Ooh.
holder. I broke my finger. I was the holder, and I messed up the hold, and we missed the extra point. So we were only up 3. We would have put us up 4, so they had to score. And they ended up getting a good return, getting to like their 40 or something like that. And they kick a field goal and they miss. And the rest was history. It was just a great feeling. It was a fun win. And yeah, they thought they were going to beat us, and they didn't. Now I'm 2-0 against Oregon State at 2 different schools.
That is very true. The Oregon State, they just talk too much for not being good to me. Like
Yeah.
just their fans, they're just not good. They're just not good. But all
Yeah.
right, so we kind of talked about this as well. We'll fast forward again a little bit. When you get to the transfer process and you finish your senior, or I get, is it your junior year or is it your senior year?
My junior year at Eastern.
Junior year, redshirt junior year.
That's your junior year, yeah.
Yeah, when you're
Hmm.
when you're going through that process, how do teams reach out to you? How do you go about that?
Hmm.
Did you was maybe coming back to Eastern ever a thought in your mind? How did that go down?
Yeah, so basically all this happened before the transfer portal, right? So before the transfer portal, this is what happened. We lost my junior year to Illinois State in like the quarterfinals or something like that. And my high school coach texted me, man, I'm sorry, blah, 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 but hey, let's get past it. I just need to tell you this. A GA at Oregon reached out to me and said, hey, VA, or that we want VA to be our quarterback at Oregon. And so I'm like, Oregon who? Oregon Tech? Oregon, Oregon Junior College? Like, who are y'all talking? Who are you talking about? He said, stop messing around. Oregon or University. I said, you stop messing around, coach. Like, what are you talking about? Oregon just reached out to you randomly when they have Marcus Mariota right now. He's a junior just like me. He said Marcus told them he was going to the NFL. They think you're the second best quarterback, or they think you're the best quarterback behind him in this country, and they want you to come play there. I said, well, how am I supposed to do that? I got another year. They're like, you get your permission to contact release. So the GA from Oregon told my high school head coach to tell me get my permission to contact release, and that way any team can uh, contact me. So I went to Bo Baldwin, my head coach, and my athletic director Bill Chaves at the time. I asked him. I didn't want to just do it on my. I did. I asked him. I said, hey. Do y'all mind if I listen to other teams and other coaches and just hear what they have to say about me? Like, you just called a permission to contact. They said, yeah, we don't mind at all. Because Bo Baldwin was actually um, interviewing at Montana, our rivals. He interviewed at Montana
Yeah.
and Oregon State. And Oregon State. So I don't even know if people really knew that or what, but he interviewed at those. And, so I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to potentially leave me here, then I'm going to potentially leave too. So I asked for the permission to contact. So I got it and I sent it out that day. I sent it to everyone in the Pac 12 and like a few other schools. I mean, I went to class 30 minutes later. By the end of my class, like my phone was almost dead. It was like 1% because I kept getting phone calls from different numbers. And I'm like, man, who is calling me? Who calling me? And I don't answer like phones, but it's like Pullman, Eugene, Seattle, blah, blah, like different where these teams are. So I'm like, I called the first one I seen. It was Oregon. Boom. I call, hey Vernon, what's going on? It's Mark Helfrich or whoever I talked to, Mark Helfrich or the receiver coach, head coach at Oregon, and we want to come see you today or tomorrow, and then go fly to see your family in California, and we want to get you here. So they flew in, did that, boom, and I ended up going to Oregon on my visit that weekend. So I went that weekend, had a ball, had a great time. And Oregon has always been my dream school growing up. As kids, we always played NCAA on the PlayStation or Xbox, and you always picked Oregon because they had the best jerseys. So I always liked Oregon, SC, or Florida. So Oregon was my number one. So when I went there, like whatever you think of Oregon, whatever, like the jerseys, the facilities, everything, whatever you think of it, is 10 times better. Like literally, like what? Like I remember thinking, like, oh, I already know the facilities got to be tight in uniforms. Da, 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 da. It's in there is 10 times better than what you think it is. So, like, it was like, man, like shit, this is hard. Like, do I pass up this opportunity? I've accomplished so much here at Eastern, and we just not getting over that hump in the playoffs. like I just felt like our defense at the time, those 3 years in a row, like we wasn't getting over the hump. You know what I'm saying? And so basically I was like, man, I talked to Cooper Cup. He was like the first person I talked to, and I was like, "Man, what you think, bro? What you think I should do? Like, I want to finish with you, but like, what do you think, man?" And he was like, "Honestly, I want you here. I want you here, man, and I want us to finish this off right. But I can't hold you back. Like, if that's what you want to do, and that's what you think is right, and for your career." And also being a short quarterback. Remember, Russell Wilson had just came out from Wisconsin a couple years before, me being a short quarterback at a small school, I'm thinking like they're definitely not going to look at me. But if I'm a short quarterback at a Power Five school and I'm producing, then
They
I might
have to.
actually get a shot. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
might have to actually get a shot. So that was my thing with that. And you know, so I did the transfer, I did all that, but like a couple weeks later, like I just wasn't really feeling it. And so I asked Bo Baldwin, like, man, I'm trying to come back. Like what can I do? But he was just kind of like he was like, man, we would love you back, but we already gave the keys to the backup quarterback. Like, how messed up would it be to be like, oh, VA is coming back? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I get it. You're right. You're right about that. And then all crazy thing about it is, Bo Baldwin didn't let me like lift in the weight room at the facility, which
Yeah.
I understand. Like a lot of people and fans are kind of like, that's messed up. He won't let you. But then again, we played Eastern Washington first game of the season when I got to Oregon. So it's like, why would you let somebody come in your gym that's preparing to beat you the first game of the season? You know what I'm saying? So I totally got where Coach Baldwin was coming from. He's like, we're not gonna like let you use our facility. Like, you're trying to kill us the first game of the season, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. So I would just go to the gym on campus with the civilians and stuff like that. So
The
yeah, that's how
Jeeds.
that went. Yep.
Yeah. That's wild. Okay, so I know you kind of you just touched on it a little bit. We all see the jerseys. I agree with you. When we all played college football, we all ran the dynasty mode with Oregon, so that way we could run through different uniforms every single week.
Hmm.
Like I agree
Yeah.
with you. Or SC. Like, what was that time like? Is it? I know you came from Eastern, so obviously it's going to be a little. The money is just it's a little different. It's a little different.
Hmm.
What was it like?
It's a
Like, are you
lot of
taking?
different.
Are you guys private planes? Are you guys doing all like? Are you guys Nike Christmas? All of that. How does all of that go once you get to
Yeah.
Oregon?
No, yeah, it's a lot of different. The money is a lot of different when you get to Oregon. I just Phil Knight got that bread. But yeah, we were flying charter private flights at Oregon. At Eastern, we were flying commercial, so
Commercial.
flying regular. Yeah, but yeah, Oregon. I remember, man, flying back from the Alamo Bowl from Oregon. We had lost the Alamo Bowl, and we got on the plane, and it was the biggest plane I ever been on in my life. Like upstairs, downstairs, every seat was reclined all the way to a bed. Like it was crazy. That was the only time we took that one at the bowl game, but the other times, yeah, it was just private, just on our own.
What is the Nike Christmas like? Do you guys get that? Did you guys
Um,
get that? Like, were you guys get
yeah,
stuff at
no,
Christmas?
I wasn't. Yeah, no, 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 I wasn't. Yeah, because in Christmas, I went home. Like for the bowl game, our bowl game was like the 29th. So it was like the 29th or something like that. So I went home for Christmas, flew out on the 26th. And I think we had like 3 days of practice, and then we played in the bowl game or something like that. But yeah, I didn't do much. I don't remember too much of a Nike Christmas. I don't know if that's what they do now or something like that. But yeah, I didn't
I just
like
thought
get
it.
anything like
I thought it
special.
was like they give you like once you get to like Christmas time, they give like basketball players. I know they get gifts. They like during the Christmas time. I wasn't sure if
Okay.
like I wasn't sure if
Yeah,
I
no,
wasn't
I
sure if
mean,
Oregon did that
I
or
didn't. Yeah, yeah, I didn't get nothing. So
okay.
I know at the bowl game you get your bowl game gifts, things like that. But yeah, I didn't get anything like that on the table.
I got a couple more sports questions, then we'll get into a couple personal questions. If you're coming out, okay, first off, what are your thoughts on the NIL and name, image and likeness, and are you a proponent of it? Are you not one? Kind of just I'll leave the floor to you.
Yeah, I'm definitely a proponent of it. It's so crazy because my cousin and I, he went to Oregon State, but when I transferred to Oregon, he dropped out. He stopped playing football there, and then he came to live with me in Oregon in 2015. And ever since 2015, we've been trying, like we've been wanting to come up with a book. He takes pictures too, so he takes pictures of all the athletes, tattoos. We know we from Pasadena, so we know so many people in the Pac-12 all around. So he takes pictures of, back in 2015, take pictures of people tattoos and stuff, and he basically want to write stories and sell these books, and then we give the athletes money for it. So we wanted to start NIL, name, image, and likeness before it was NIL. You know what I'm saying? We were just calling it name, image, and likeness. You know what I'm saying? We weren't even saying NIL. That's what we were saying, and so we've been trying to do this for the longest. And so I'm so glad it's happened because all these kids deserve, because they're a business, man. These universities and people want to say student athlete. There is no more student athlete. It is athlete student. When it comes to football, at least. I don't know about all the other sports and everything else, but when it comes to football, it is athlete student. It ain't no student athlete. Even back then, like the coaches will come to your house and tell your parents to sit on your couch and say, yes, we'll make sure he's in this class. Da, 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 da. We got this. He wants this degree. We got it. You get there and you want those classes, and they're like, no, that interferes with practice. You can't take that class. And I'm like, coach, you talking my parents? You talking my parents a student athlete? I thought I was a student athlete. No, it doesn't. It interferes with studies. It interferes with weights. If it interferes with any type of football, you got to do something else. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. So, like I said, I'm glad they got the money, the NIL stuff. Only thing I was saying back in 2015 with my cousin, I was like, listen, if we give these kids money and stuff, and they start getting money, the thing is, how do you do it? Do you do it with all sports? Do you do it with the walk-on cornerback versus the starting quarterback? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you do it? And just all these questions. And I just didn't want kids to make so much money, even more money than the coaches, that now they getting business calls during meetings and be like, I need to step out of meetings. So like, as long as the money in the business and stuff doesn't interfere with your football time, like after practice, you calls, do all that. But like, you can't be in the meeting room and then get a phone call from one of your sponsors and then go take it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Just don't let it be a distraction. So yeah.
Were there ever, like, now with like the new landscape of things, were there, and I'm not saying you or maybe like anybody like that you know or anything like that, or like in your circle, but were there people coming down to pick off like North Dakota State players, Montana State players, Eastern players? Was that a thing back in the day? Well, I don't want to
I
say back in
mean,
the day. It was 10 years
no, I
ago,
mean,
15
I
years
think
ago, but
it's all always been a thing. Like, I've always heard this saying, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So all these teams, they gonna secretly do what they need to do to reach out to people and do what they need to do. Even if it takes a third, fourth party to get to that person, they gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, everyone has their ways, and um, yeah, that's what you got to do, man.
all right, last question on this one real quick. Okay, so if you are coming out of Eastern right now, going to Oregon or any of these Pac-12, I guess it's probably Big 12 schools now. Are they in the Big 12? Everybody's in everywhere. ACC.
Big Ten,
How
yeah,
much do you think you would make? Or yeah, we'll just go you.
yeah. No, I mean, I think if I did exactly what I did 10 years ago, if I did it now, I would think that, what is it, 2025? This did happen exactly like 25 years, like 10 years ago. This is crazy. But I would think like if I went to Oregon, I did the same thing, I would be worth whatever their quarterback has. I think the highest is like Shador at like 6 million or something like that. And I think their quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, got like 2 to 4, something like that. So I would think at least a million. And which would be crazy. Being a college athlete, having $1 million in my pocket, more money than some people in the NFL and stuff like that. Like that would be nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Were
But I would think something like that.
how did you guys make money? Like, how did you guys eat? Like, other than like school meals, like
Yeah.
how does that even like how did that even work?
Right. So every school is different, whether they're quarter based, semester based, whatever. So if you're semester based, you get paid at the beginning of each semester. And if you're quarter based, you get paid every month
Yeah,
throughout the
oh my.
year. And
Oh,
then athletes, you get like a certain amount of money, like on your lunch card or dinner card on campus. So that's pretty much how people ate. Some people got jobs, mainly walk-ons and half scholarship people got jobs. Um, and then at these big schools too, like depending on who you are, back in the day, since it wasn't NIL, they'll just tell you, come over here and pick this bag up or pick this little suitcase up on the side, and that'll help you take care of your stuff for the next
most
few months. So
yeah,
yeah.
most definitely. I always feel like I feel some type of way sometimes because I'm an Eastern fan and I enjoy Eastern football because I enjoy the opportunity that it gives young men to continue to play at that high level, but to I don't want to I like to be able to get to that next level, to take that next step, to go to the next level. And so, before we get too far, actually, I do want to ask you this: what is your opinion on Eastern football now, and kind of how do you, if you were coach, if it was Coach Adams, how would you go about it?
Um, I mean, in all honesty, like I don't watch every single game. You know what I'm saying? I don't break down the film, so I can't really see what's going on. All you see are the losses. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like it's so much that goes into sport, man, especially football. Like because it's the ultimate team sport. Like in football, all 11 players, in my case in Canada, all 12 players, you all have to be on the same page all the time because that one person that's not on the same page can screw the whole play up, especially on offense. If I'm a quarterback, which I am, and they say, hey, you got a 12-yard curl route and the quarterback has a three-step drop, or you have a 14-yard curl route and the quarterback has a three-step drop. And so I do my three-step drop and he runs his curl at 10 yards. And now he's just sitting there waiting for the ball. So now as a quarterback, you see him ready, but you're not. So things speed up. Your footwork, everything, your throwing motion, now it's all out of whack. And now a DB jumps it, pick six. That's all you see on from the fans. You see, damn, our quarterback just threw a pick six. But when we go watch the film, and the route says to run 14 yards and you run 10 yards, that's on you. That's on the receiver because now the quarterback isn't ready to throw the ball. So in practice, you guys are on time. You ran that play a couple times. You did your three steps. He did 14 yards. You're on time. It's perfect. Catch, first down. Now in the game, he's feeling all flustered in the fog of war and oh shit, what's going on? And now he runs it at 10 yards and now the quarterback looked bad. Or vice versa. He runs at 14 and the quarterback does a 5-step drop and now he's late and now he throws a pick six. You know what I'm saying? So it all ties in. So I can't really put my finger on what it is. All I know and all we see as fans is the losses. And honestly, that comes from your head coach. And Coach Best, he was my O-line coach when I was there in Eastern. And I love Coach Best, man. And I never talk down on him. I'm just saying, like, he knows and everybody else knows all those losses is on the head coach. Like you gotta do something to switch it up. You know what I'm saying? I don't when they went to the playoffs last year or 2 years ago or what?
I don't know. It's been a while. I feel
Yeah, I
like
don't even know. You know what I'm saying? I
it's
know it
been
wasn't
it's
this
they.
year. Yeah. It's been
I will.
inconsistent ever since Coach Baldwin left. It's been inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just not like when I was there, we went to the playoffs 3 years straight. You know what I'm saying? So um, and then they won the national title 2 years before I got there or a year before I got there. So Yeah, man, it's about them wins. It's about stacking them wins. And I know he's a good coach, but now you got to have good positional coaches, and you got to go make sure you making the right decisions when it comes to playing players.
The last time they made the playoffs was 2021, and they lost to Montana in the second round.
Yeah, see,
Um,
that's not, yeah, 2021, shit. It's 20, what about 3 years ago?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. It just
yeah,
it's a
that's
standard, and it's a
unacceptable.
standard
That
that
exactly.
that previous teams have set, and I think
Yeah,
that's why people feel some type of way about like the foot, because I see a lot of people on like the spokesman review and everything, like they feel like putting money into the football team is a waste of money now, like, and it's not a good product, so they don't want to keep putting money into the football team. And to me, I feel like it's the exact opposite. I feel like they need to put more money into the football team. There needs to be more better facilities. There should You shouldn't have to you know this probably better than anybody, walking from that halftime, walking all the way from that little gate from the field all the way inside into, like, you shouldn't have to do that. There should be facilities right next to the facility where you can just walk right up, and there, like, just some of the stuff that they want to be taken serious, but they don't do the things to be taken serious, and it's
yeah,
kind of frustrating
exactly.
from people that
I'm just saying, like, no, I hear you definitely because when I came on my visit in 2011, they was talking about this new stadium, saying, okay, it'll be done by your senior or junior year.
yeah,
We 15 years later,
been
and it's
saying that.
still not even, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, it's like what? I mean, I know they've been getting donations, so at least do something and just keep adding on to it. Just keep adding on, like you said, put the stadium right there, right outside the thing, or put the weight room right out, locker room right outside the stadium instead of walking that far. But yeah, man. I mean, honestly, winning changes everything, man. When you win, that's how you get good players. That's how you get people that want to come there and do that. So, but if you ain't gone to the playoffs 3 years straight, like it's gonna be hard to get the top players out of high school because now the top players are looking at North Dakota State, Montana State, Montana. You know what I'm saying? They're like, why would I go to Eastern? Like, if we can't even win, you know? So that's it. They gotta get on the right track and start winning.
What are some of the differences between, so you're in the CFL right now. What are some of the differences? You just mentioned 12-man football, obviously. What are some of the differences between NFL and the CFL? And maybe explain, maybe like the reads and stuff. Like, maybe what is different about it? Is it sped up? Is it maybe just slow? Like, kind of explain it
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
people that don't know.
Yeah, so American football and Canadian football are it's football at the end of the day, but it's different. It's different. So first of all, in the CFL, you get 3 downs, not four. So basically, as a quarterback, you have to be ready to throw the ball. It's a passing lead because you only get 3 downs. So if you run on first down and you get no yards, 2nd and 10, they're rushing three, dropping nine because they know it's a pass coming. You know what I'm saying? So or
Mhm.
rushing two, spy with one, and drop nine. So essentially, have 10 people in coverage for 4 or 5 receivers. You know what I'm saying? So it's 12 on 12. Like I said, the field is wider and longer. We have a 55-yard line instead of a 50-yard line. We had a 55-yard line. And the end zones are 20 yards long instead of 10 yards long. And then also 2 more things. The D line has to be 1 yard off the ball. The defense has to be 1 yard off the
Really?
ball. So they can't be up there up close. They have to be 1 yard off the ball.
Why
And
is that?
I don't know. I really don't, but that's just
Okay.
their rule. And then there's a Canadian ratio actually. So there has to be 7 Canadians starting on the field. Not all at once. So not like 7 on offense, 7 but it has to be just all together. So it has to be like 4 on offense, 3 on defense, or something like that, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So there's a
Yeah.
Canadian ratio that you have to abide by.
It's like overseas basketball. You can only have like three
Right.
Americans,
You know,
whatever. They're
they
like
still want to keep it their game in their
their game.
country. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you got to do it. Yeah.
Can you kind of explain like your journey from like the beginning, from being like the backup to like where you are now? Can like kind of just explain like the process and just the resilience and the resiliency that you've like shown and things like that?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I'm going on year 10 in the CFL, and I've been started off as a backup, just a running quarterback. My first couple years, got traded to another team. Same thing, was the backup running quarterback. Got traded at the end of that year. In my third year, got cut from a team. Went back to Montreal as a backup. Played a few games. Signed an extension in Montreal and was in Montreal from 2018 to 2022 as a starter. Um, then I got benched again. Another quarterback came and he took my spot. I got benched again. Then got traded to BC in 2022. Took over as a starter there for 2.5 years. And then I got traded 2 months ago, and they brought another quarterback back to BC who they wanted from the NFL. Now I'm in Calgary. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster of a ride, man. Ups and downs. I've started all like my high school and college and Pop Warner years, but it's been the pros that's been more roller coaster, up and down, cut, traded, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? And just being, at the end of the day, man, you have to be resilient. You have to go through adversity because it builds character. You know what I'm saying? It shows you who you really are in tough times, and it shows what you're gonna do. Like, just because I was a starter my whole life, now I'm a backup. Like, yeah, it's different to me. It is different. So you have to adjust. You have to be able to make adjustments when you're playing in a football game, basketball game, soccer game. At halftime, if you're getting smoked, you have to make adjustments. And if you don't make those adjustments, then you get beat. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I just decided to just be a great teammate. And I think that's what my rep is in the CFL on all the 4 or 5 teams I've been on out of the 9. Everyone knows I'm a great teammate, whether I'm the starter or not. Everybody knows I'm always looking out for everybody's best interests. I'm always looking to do team chemistry, bonding activities, things like that. So whether I'm the starter or not. So, and that's what keeps you around too. You know what I'm saying? If you're just moping around, being, being a distraction, not locking in, acting like you should be the guy, showing up late, they're just going to get rid of you because there's 1,000 more of me's out there. You know what I'm saying? And so there's hundreds of thousands of players who want to play. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to, you gotta you got to handle it like a pro. And that's what I did. I've just been handling it like a pro. And that's why I've been playing for so long. And every time I get my opportunity to be a starter, I show up, I win, and I do what I need to do.
How do you go about leadership? Like, okay, so how do you learn different people's, like, I guess, type? Like, if you were to, like, if we were playing football and I was your wide receiver and I was to run an out route and you threw the ball in, if you started yelling at me, we might fight on the field. Like,
Yeah.
if you yell at another teammate, that might be what they need to, like, lock in and be like what the hell are you doing, bro? Like, come on, lock
Yeah.
in. Like, how do you learn everybody's archetype and then be able to push those buttons in the right time?
Yeah. I think it all starts just hanging out outside of football, hanging out outside of your sport, not just football, your sport, period. Because that way you get to know your teammates, you get to know your people you on offense with, defense with, you get to know them as a person. You can see what they going through because everybody in life is going through stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can see who they playing for, who are they playing for, who are they playing for? How can I talk to this person? How can I talk to this? How do they like to be coached? How do you know what I'm saying? And so once you learn all that about all your teammates and stuff, and throughout the years and throughout the games, then you just realize who can handle it and who can't. You know what I'm saying? Like these younger cats, you can't really talk to them how my dad coached me and how coaches coached me growing up because these younger cats they just get down on themselves or they just soft or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They hella talented and stuff like that. But I'm gonna say it, they soft mentally. You start yelling at them and they just be like, like, nah, man, you guys are great players. They're just we want you to be better. You know what I'm saying?
Better.
You can be better. So yeah, just filling these guys out and just knowing who you could talk to. Like some dudes I could get on, but I know he can get on me too. You know what I'm saying? Like if I mess up a throw, he gonna come to me and be like, hey, you better than that. Like, let's go, bro. Lock in right now. And I can do the same thing to him. Or and then to this guy, I might be like, hey, you good? You good? Don't worry about it. Look, we're gonna run it back. Let's do it again. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's different type of people that you gotta know how to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? And just how to bring out the best of them. Some people like to get like, bro, like some people like to get talked to, like, man, let's freaking go, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, and that's when they're like, okay, yeah. And then some people just don't, you know. So that's it. Just filling these people out.
That's a great. I always wondered how, because being a quarterback, you're the lead. You're not just the leader of the offense. You're the leader of the defense. You're the leader of the front office. You're the leader of every single person that is a part of that organization. That C that is on your, like, that you are what represents that. And so I always wonder how, when there's so many guys, how you push the right button at the right time
Mm,
to get the right thing out of them. And so I really
yeah.
appreciate that answer.
Yes, sir.
What type of legacy do you want to leave on the field, but also off the field?
Yeah. On the field, I mean, I've accomplished so much, like personally and stuff. I really just need a championship, man. Once I get a championship, I would be so content with my career and just so. I've been to all the semifinal games. I've been to a couple championship games and lost. I've won all the conference titles, but I just do not have the national championship or the big championship game. You know what I'm saying? So that's my legacy. I want to leave on the field. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I've got stats. I got all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then once you win a championship, all the stats and everything else is going to keep coming. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to be. I want to be a champion. That's how I want to be remembered, as we all do. Um, so working towards that. And then off the field, I always just wanted to be remembered as just a good teammate, someone who cares, someone who's passionate about the game and about their teammates. So,
What does Vernon do off the field when there's no camera, when there's no nothing on you, when there's no football, when you're home alone? What do you like to do? How do you enjoy your time?
yeah, man. I'm so laid back, bro. I just be chilling for real. Like I I get all my workouts and stuff in the morning. That way, in the afternoon and evenings, you know what I'm saying, I could focus on watching film or just daddy duties, you know what I'm saying, hanging out with the kiddos, things like that. But I literally, I don't golf. Like, I don't like to golf. Like, I'll hoop for some cardio, you know what I'm saying? But I don't just do stuff. Like, I just, I want to renovate my duplex. I bought this duplex last year. So, I'm really into that right now. Just renovations and just hanging out, just my peace. I'm just trying to be peaceful, slow the world down and connect closer to God each day and just be a better man. So yeah, man, I'm really laid back, bro. I just be chilling, and I like to do a lot of fun stuff with my kids. So whenever I got my kids, like I said, we do the Chuck E. Cheese, the Great Wolf Lodge, the hotels with swimming pools indoors. Just a lot of just stuff for them.
Daddy duties, most definitely. That's the
Hmm.
most important thing, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple more for you. Uh, how do you handle criticism, like social media, through
Yeah.
other places, like maybe that we don't even know about, maybe through family, through work? How do you handle all of that? And how do you compartmentalize all of that?
Yeah, I
I can
think
say
that's a great question. I went through my phases of how I would handle different things. Sometimes, like when I was in my younger days, like if I get criticized on Twitter, like they gonna hear me back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna retweet them back and we gonna go at it and just be unprofessional and stuff like that. Um, Nowadays, like when it comes to social media and stuff, I typically do not like to go on the internet or social media 24 hours before or 24 hours after the game, especially after the game, just because when you win, it's gonna be, oh yeah, we love Vernon, da 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 da. But when
the
you
parlay
lose,
hit.
it's, man, he sucks, blah, blah, blah. So it's gonna be even worse. So it's like either way, it's not good for your ego to get fed. Oh, he's good, da da da. Then you mess up the next week, and then you see, oh, he sucks. Like, so definitely after the game, 24 hours after. No, I try to do 24 hours before as well. But I guess it also just depends on who it's coming from too. Like from my family, like when I hear it from them, like I hear what they saying, but at the same time too, like they don't know how much goes into football and how much the timing and stuff. Like my dad, he'll blame a lot of stuff on me, interceptions and stuff like that. But I'm just like, yeah, that one was on me, but this one, this is what happened. Like no, you just got to no, this is what happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what happened. Like, you got there's timing, there's chemistry, all that in pro sports. You have to do that. And then I guess if it comes from someone who's just, a media person or whatever, and they've never played the sport and they're sitting here trying to dissect me and tell me, oh, I suck because I can't, that's a person where I'll probably go back with. And then I respect the people who've played the game before and who are honest. Like, if I know I play bad and they know I play bad and they gonna be honest, yeah. But then when I play good and they know, then they do that too. I respect
Got to
them
show the
too. You know what
love.
I'm saying? So it's just yeah, different people, I guess.
What? Give us a couple songs. We all need to update the playlist. What is Vernon listening to right now?
Yeah, it all depends on the day, honestly. Monday is for me is all like Nipsey Hussle. It's like motivational Monday for me. Um, Tuesday, I'll do like gospel rap or gospel music, just Kirk Franklin and stuff like that. The newer days, like there's some new Christian artists who are like they're rapping, but it's like it's bangers, but it's Christian rap. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty cool that they do that nowadays. So that Wednesdays is my white boy Wednesdays. So I got my Randy Houser, my Luke Bryan, my country music, AC/DC, all that stuff on Wednesdays. Thursdays is Throwback Thursday, so it's all my old school music. Um, and then Friday is Feel Good Friday, and I just put on whatever feels good, whatever I'm feeling. If I'm working out, I need some, yeah, if I need some more chill, whatever it is, Friday is Feel Good Friday, Saturday, Sunday is just whatever, come on.
Most definitely. The Christian music, I've been trying every time. So Kendrick Bourne will post like an Instagram, and he'll have like a little music up there, and it's
Mm-hmm.
always like a little gospel rap. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always picking up some good ones from him. I always love when
Yeah.
KB posts those. So keep
Yeah.
posting those, KB. I love what you're doing, my guy.
Yes, sir.
A couple more things real quick. Okay, first off, you're from California. I'm a big Draco the Ruler fan. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to him?
I might have. He passed away, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
I
just
think I
knew
think I've heard him a little bit. Yeah.
you're from California, so I wasn't sure if you like. Not many people listen to him where I'm at, so it's
Yeah.
like more of like
Right.
a California thing. But
Mm-hmm.
last thing, real quick, last question. Probably maybe one of the most important. What is your definition of success?
Man, my definition of success for me, because everybody's definition gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? But for me, is winning a championship and being a great father. Being a great father. Obviously, human being comes with that, but just being a great father and winning a championship, that's what success is for me. I think I'm already a great father. Um, and I just need a championship. I can always be better as a father. I can always be better as a quarterback. I can always be better as a partner, as a human being. And we all got things to work on. So, yeah, that's a tough question. But for me, I just need to win a championship and continue to be a better human being and father.
Okay, I lied. I have one quick question for you. Obviously,
Hmm.
not at this current moment because we want you to keep playing, but would you ever consider coaching later on down the road, or like maybe
Yeah,
like a like
absolutely.
okay,
Yeah,
because
that's what I
I'm
want
not
to do.
saying like I'm not saying right now because I want you to keep playing, and obviously you still got
Yeah,
it. So like keep doing what
yeah,
you're doing right now. But like Eastern could use you over here, or even I'm in Colorado right now. Northern Colorado could use you.
yeah.
Like there's
Hey,
there's a multitude of
listen.
different jobs out here.
Let me get a champion. If I get a championship this year and next year when my contract is up, I'll be ready to be the head coach at Eastern if that's what they want to
I'm
do.
gonna hold you to that actually. I'm
If
gonna
that's what
clip
they
that.
want
Yeah,
to
I
do,
told you earlier
you
there's no
gonna
clickbait here, but that might actually be some
yeah.
clickbait right there.
Hey, you gonna have to email the AD like, hey man, let's bring Vernon in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, give me about 1 or 2 more years. I'm win me a championship. After that, I'll have 10 years played, a championship. I'll be solid. And then after that, yeah, man, I could come be that head coach, make me 6 figures, win us a couple championships there, go up to Oregon or Alabama. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
I'm doing my thing. Yeah.
Larry Weir is like one of my mentors, and I I know he would really appreciate that, and I know Matthew and them, they watch the podcast and stuff, so I know Eastern might try to hold you to that. You might have an invoice in your coming very soon.
Hey, I'm gonna need a job. Shoot, when
Uh,
I'm done playing, so I'm ready. So I
we
got a lot of
have Vernon.
information. I'm ready to go.
We have Vernon Adams with us. Vernon, I really appreciate you for coming on the pod, my guy.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you having me on. I'm glad we got it done. I know it's been a couple weeks or months we've been trying to do this, so I'm just glad we got it done.
I really you see that is one thing real quick that I do want to say. I do really appreciate you. You've been so humble and gracious with your time, and like people didn't know that like we confirmed this before you even got traded. And so
Mm-hmm.
like I
Yeah.
really appreciate you because I wouldn't have faulted you if you didn't want to come do this at all. Like I wouldn't have thought anything different of you. You still would have been the guy. Like so I really appreciate you though.
Yes, sir, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, yes sir, yes sir.